everybody always wants to hear and know. Your 90s teams, right? We are, as Stephen Jones said, we are in this little drought, this 30-year drought when it comes to true success and true hierarchy in the National Football League when it comes to dominating. And I talked to Nate a couple months ago.
Nate's my man.
Listen,
Nate crazy.
Nate, I love Nate. Nate and I do a weekly show, hanging with the boys over on DallasCowboys.com. I love Nate. But, Nate said some things, and, Nate always talks so highly of you. And he just talked about your leadership. He talked about no one outworks you. No one can go and hang out and go harder than you in the nightlife, but you were never late for a meeting. You never took off days at practice. You were the quintessential teammate to have at those times. Where did that desire and fire and attitude come from for you that formulate the playmaker?
Right. It's so funny because you started this talking, and it's the reality how, God really sets you up for where he has you going. He sets you up. I come from a big family. I'm the 15th of 17, and I used to hate it. Man. I got friends, there are 2 people in their family, and they got things. I said, man, we don't get anything over here when you got this many people, so you hate it. But really, as I look back on that, Jess, I complained about those times, but when I look back, those were the best times. They blessed me because that told me the importance of teamwork back then. So I was able to carry that in every stage that I went in, the pain of not having anything, but also the learning of working together since you didn't have anything. Yeah. You know what I mean? We got to work together to make sure we have everything we need since nobody has anything really. So no doubt that helped. I used to complain about it all the time, and then I finally figured it out. I said, "Oh, okay, God, I understand what that is. You were helping me get ready. You know what I mean? You were helping me get ready." And I was one of the younger ones, and still probably, right now, just like you, you're kind of head of your family because everybody's coming to you for everything.
Absolutely.
So hey, you got something over there, right? Yeah. Dallas Cowboys, they're coming to get whatever they need. So it also prepares you. But no doubt in my mind, it was those 16 brothers and sisters and me being the 15th down towards the end and having to work with all of them and make sure I wait my turn or earn my moment. So yeah, that I give the credit to. That I give the credit to.
But then you take this talent and you take it to the University of Miami, right? Because you talk about not having, and I relate to that, right? Relate to that, but then you separate from the pack, right? You're no longer, you'll always be the 15th of 17th, right. But then you go away and you become one of one.
Never came back.
I'm the same way.
Never came back.
I'm the same way. But you go to this place and you become one of one now.
Right.
And now you're not fighting for somewhere to sleep.
Right.
And you're not fighting for a meal.
Right.
And you do have.
Well, they give me somewhere to sleep, and they gave me meals.
Right.
But I was still fighting for somewhere to sleep and meals. I was fighting for all the people that are coming with me.
Ah, okay.
You see,
okay.
Yeah, dude, I got $25 every weekend and sent 15 home. Because this was, there were no NILs back then. We got $25 on the weekend money. You kept 10. I went and bought a little box of cornflakes. It was 99 cents. A little sugar. It was 69 cents. And I ate that with water. Cornflakes and sugar with water. And I sent that $15 home, But so I was, in essence, because during the week, they had the training table over. So I had the meal. They had given me an apartment. It's so funny, man. My first trip visiting, I think I took Syracuse. I think I went to Syracuse. Michigan State. Lorenzo White and I went to Michigan State, and then I went to Syracuse. And when I got to Syracuse, they offered me my own apartment. I was like, what the? They said, yeah, this is going to be your apartment. Is it my apartment? I said, where I sign? They said, you can't sign. I said, I'll sign right now. I'll sign right now. I was in Syracuse. Donnie McPherson was showing me around. I was like, listen, man, for my own, I ain't got to sleep with all them jokers.
Yeah.
Oh, I sign right now. Where y'all got? They said, Michael, you can't do it. I was going to get, then I went to Miami and they had apartments too. I just thought, so, I just wanted to get out of sleeping with them 7 jokers that I was sleeping with, because we only had 2 rooms, 9 girls and, 7 boys over here, 8 boys over here. You had to sleep like we had to sleep. Yeah. And we all piled up in that room. So yeah, man, it was interesting taking those trips and then learning. But, man, yeah, I brought all of that with me. When I got to Miami, I got into it the first days there, my first days there, because I was on a mission. Dude. I was like, I'm here. I'm not here to play games. I got to get my family. I got to get them out. So I came right in, telling them, guys, listen, I'm serious about my business here. So they had to test me, and we got all into it. And that's how Jimmy and I got tight. Jimmy was like, man, you're a little feisty ass freshman. He said, listen, you're going. I like that you're feisty, but we can't be fighting each other. You know what I'm saying? So Jimmy's always been my man. But yeah, ever since I came in, I had things, but I've always been fighting for those that God has put under my kingdom. Right. That's what I mean. When the Bible says, let it be done on earth as it is in heaven, what does God mean by that? What does he mean by that? In heaven, God is the king of his domain. If we are created in image and likeness, on earth, men, we are supposed to be the kings of our domain. All that he has given me, I will take care of. And I will deal. I will, and even he's giving me. I didn't know he was going to give me. I didn't know that our paths were going to cross back then. Right. But it did, and you know what I mean. Had we not followed through with the plan to do that, so all of that, he's setting it all up, man, and that's what I so appreciate.
So staying in Miami right now, so you get there, you're this feisty freshman, and you and others, you take this program. You take this program to new heights. Right. You're right. And mixing that in is right. Because, remember when Kyle Snellenberger got there, that's who recruited me. Miami was not good. Right. They had been losing forever. Howard Snellenberger, and you guys got to understand, Miami. And before you get there, Miami back then, this wasn't ACC football Miami. This was Big East football. Right. This is when you came up in this time, it was the Notre Dames, it was the Penn States of those were the teams that the Syracuses of the world, like those were the teams that were kind of in the especially in the Big East. You had the those top Florida. Yes. Miami wasn't in that conversation. No. Miami was nowhere in any of it. Right. I mean, anywhere. So why Miami over the Floridas or the Florida States or the other Miami places? Because Howard Snellenberger, when he had come in Miami. You understand? Where Miami is called Coral Gables, Florida. This is the most affluent area in probably South Florida. Coral Gables. Beautiful. It's beautiful. Brothers didn't even go in Coral Gables. No joke. Yeah. No joke. You're like, man, I ain't going to Coral Gables, man. They'll arrest you for walking around Coral Gables. So Miami is a private school, very affluent. Brothers didn't go to Coral Gables. They brought Howard Snellenberger in. They had been losing. Howard said, we could win if you give me the power to do what I need to do. They said, well, what do you need to do? Get some brothers. I need to go to the ghettos. Yes. He said, I'm going to the ghettos. I'm going to the pork and bean project. All you have to do is give me permission to go into the ghettos and get all these brothers. All the folks you got out there, everything you need here. The sugar cane fields, all about them chasing the rabbits. I need them. All of them Edgerton James Edge just called me too. Edgerton James, all them old bad boys, All right. And dude, they said, okay, we're tired of losing. We want to win. Howard came and got us. And I mean, I love what they did. They let us know, they were like, listen, guys, we're going to give you a hell of an opportunity. You asked why not go. I had LSU, Florida State,
Bobby Bowden was there. I love Bobby Bowden. But to be home, and then to build something. Dude, my greatest joy is in knowing that I wasn't given anything. We had to earn it. Miami, that was the beginning of Miami. It wasn't like it was a powerhouse. That was the beginning. We built it into that. You know, I personally started that U stuff. I personally started the U. Owned the U, gave it to Miami to use. I trademarked all of that. Personally. Then I did the whole campaign, because we used to be called the Canes. I'm going to tell you how I got to the U. How I got to calling it the U. I'm going to give you that in a minute